Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News.
Vice President headhunted.
AP event announced.
Let's get shawarma!
That is not how I expected that to go, Chris.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, good delivery. I enjoyed it. It was epic.
Can I jump in with a disclaimer?
Do it.
Just for a change.
All new stuff.
Trying a new mic setup today. For those of you who are used to having our nice warm tones close up to those microphones, you're not going to get those bassy vibes, but you should get a reasonably good, in fact, a pretty good studio type sound going on at the moment from two microphones which are positioned up in the sky up here.
Yeah.
Next few weeks will be a bit of adjusting, trying to get it to the best possible settings that we can, but there you go, that's it. Different mic setup. Hey.
I'm really looking forward to the point when one of the tripod fails and you just see a microphone kind of descend slowly into shot.
Yeah,
that's
I'm on
if you're
high alert.
watching. If you're listening, we'll just get a bit louder. I think that's all. Right, how are you both doing?
I'm really, really good actually.
Have you had a good day?
Yeah, can I kick off the show with something before everything else happens?
Do it!
Now, somebody had a birthday yesterday, but somebody also had a birthday months ago. Well, no, it wasn't, but you did have a birthday months ago.
Oh, I was kidding.
And it's taken me a long time to sort a birthday present out because I've not been together, but here you go. Happy birthday,
And
Lucy.
she found the Muppet bag,
I found the Muppet bag.
which
It was kismet.
which we gift back and forth.
Thing is, I was trying to be really ironic, going, "Oh, is it me?" Knowing full well it wasn't my birthday. And it turned out it was my birthday.
Yeah. I hope you like it, because I like it.
I can see something saying, "Remember who you are. You are my son. You are the one true king." Oh,
Do you want to stick it under
very,
there?
very
It would
good.
be very
Yes.
close up, but
So
that's
for
too
the
hot.
listeners, what he's got me is a beautifully presented, I presume it's some kind of limited edition situation,
Yeah.
film script of The Lion King. Now this eats into two bits of my interest.
That's
First
why
of
I
all,
did it.
I'm very interested in Disney, as you know, hence why you're all here. But I'm very interested in scripts. I enjoy reading scripts, seeing the way they're lined up. I enjoy reading the bits of stage direction and, oh look, they've got kind of like background making of stuff there. They've got concept art. This is the geeky stuff. Let me move
I
on.
was
to
smelling it.
This is the kind of thing
She took it away.
that interests me. Inspiration stuff.
Breaking up a
I
bit.
also like, oh yeah, some animation stuff.
Oh, it's breaking up a lot. I'm coming off this now because that camera's breaking up an awful lot.
No worries. This is excellent. Thank you so much.
I thought, what do you
love
get
that.
somebody who loves Disney but also keeps writing musicals?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a safe bet.
Yeah, but there's no better way of getting good at script writing and musical writing than reading scripts themselves, because you get more than watching something.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get a bit of the essence of it. This is superb.
There's a Little Mermaid one as well.
I will
just so that you know.
tell you what as well. Bonnie got a flip book making kit for her birthday.
Nice.
And we've spent all day today watching flipbook animation on YouTube, and she's like into actual how animation is, like making
Yeah.
animation now. So I just looked through there and saw some, it just said animal locomotion, Because we were trying to explain to her, people don't walk the way you think they walk. Hips move when they walk. And so, how fantastic. How perfect. Thank you, Christopher. Home run.
I'm glad you like it.
I
That's
do.
fantastic.
And thanks for the birthday wishes to Bonnie.
Yes.
Everybody in the chat and things and on social media. She was 9.
She's
and
9.
we had a den building workshop.
It was great. I think I had the most fun.
Yeah, the adults very much got involved as
It was
well.
really good. Lucas cried because they threw a bucket of water over the finished products. And,
To test its integrity,
Yeah.
not for meanness.
and the rotten girls broke it before they threw the bucket.
Yeah, so he didn't get a fair crack.
No. Horrible mean
I'd have been the
girls.
same. I might not have cried, but I would have been equally miffed.
Yes.
Well, do you know what, though? I'm parched.
Oh, we're going there, are we?
I'm going there.
Wow.
I don't usually do that.
Hold together your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage or drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
Nicely timed.
You don't need to hold it
ring
that close, I don't think, because these microphones should pick up absolutely everything. Like, Lucy, if you put your drink down hard. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that'll.
Oh yeah, we used to get Lucy a coaster because she used to bang a drink, remember?
When we first started in the podcast.
We didn't need one. I was listening to an interview with Adam Buxton and he put his cup down very gently and whoever was interviewing him said, I appreciate the way you did that, and he said, I'm a podcast guy. So it's the kind of thing we do. I'm having like an Aldi version of Lilt, but we had Bonnie likes to try every flavour of Fanta. And she had a pineapple one today, which is nice because I like Lilt, but so it's Lilt's without the grapefruit, so it's kind of smooth pineapple. She didn't like it though, and I had to have it, and I'd already had a dark berry tango, so I was full of fizz.
I'm a little bit addicted to this mango Pepsi Max, and actually cherry Pepsi Max as well. I think I might be warming to it, possibly not over Diet Coke, but I'm definitely warming to it.
Still not better than the raspberry Pepsi Max.
Now,
The best.
So that was pop talk, guys. Hope you
do you want to
enjoyed
chat?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see who we've got with us, and then we're going to go Disney hard.
Who are they?
All aboard, please. Gareth was first in the chat today.
Hi, Gareth. Winning. Beating the Duns. I like
And I
it.
like how when someone else is first in the chat other than the Duns, everyone acknowledges it.
we had a sound drop out apparently.
Oh no.
Oh, but I think it was just one person, maybe. It was Jen Wren. Hope you've got it
All right.
sorted, Jen.
Cool.
Oh dear. Yeah, so Gareth was first in the chat. Let's start with this one is here. Hey everyone, happy birthday to Bonnie. Can't wait for the show tonight. Aaron, hold on. Where's the Dunn family? See what I'm saying? Concern over Dunn family's absence. Hi to Kerry, who says hello all. Aled, yeehaw from Aled and Fiona. This time next week, we will officially be in Anaheim.
We'll be millionaires. Anaheim. Excellent.
Get you. Send us a trip
Yeah.
report. A trip report in 1,000 words or fewer, please.
West Coast.
Ross.
Wow.
Roz is here. Hi all, just booked a DLP visit for Daisy's 18th birthday in January. Made the mistake of asking her where she would like to celebrate. Love a present that the whole family benefits from. Good point, good point.
Well, I would like to celebrate at the Taj Mahal, please, Ross.
Hello to Kelfie23. Anyone got tips for Japan? Going in March, but feels so alienated.
Huh.
Oh, we didn't. This is a different conversation, really. We didn't do Disney when we went to Japan, but we went to Japan for 2 weeks when we were young and foolish, and we stayed in youth hostels and tried to kind of get from one end of the country to the other on less than £100, and you know, all that kind of stupid stuff. We had an amazing time. It is a massive culture shock, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also the friendliest country we've ever visited, so I wouldn't stress about it. You will be helped.
Kelfie also adds, Paris and Florida equal easy, Japan equals confused and scary.
Yeah.
Well, just
There
watch loads of YouTube videos,
There are some good, like,
which I'm sure you are.
vloggers who've been to Japan have often done planning videos. I know that Disney in Detail did a Japan planning video, but it was a couple of years ago. I'm sure I've seen some others, I can't think who. But we're the wrong people to ask, sadly.
The Dunn family are here. Have a great show out with family celebrating Katie's 17th birthday. Happy
They
birthday.
were here then.
Happy birthday, Katie. Well done, Gareth. Sorry to disappoint Aaron. Gemma is along for the ride, as is Jimmy, waving a pink hand. I think Jimmy always waves the pink hand sticker, which I like.
Jenren's just said, by the way,
Yeah.
there should be some Japan vlogs coming from Sam for God in the near future, because she's just got back from there, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Emma, hi everyone, happy birthday to Bonnie. Lauren, hi everyone, kids finally asleep. Excited to be able to peacefully listen to tonight's show. So keep it down, guys.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Hi to John and Rachel B. Hope you're all having a lovely bank holiday. Cheryl, hi everyone, happy birthday to Bonnie. And Jenren and Kiva and Stacey and Katia and a few more joining in later on in the chat.
Pamela.
Hi Pamela.
And yeah, I'm trying.
Voiceover guy and Daisy and Kerry and Pauline and Jenren and yeah, everyone's here.
Thank you.
The
So,
gang-
Oh, and
all
Mercedes.
And-
Mercedes has named the baby and has teased on Twitter. Is it a Disney themed name? We'll find out on Chat Disney, which drops on Monday.
Tomorrow
doesn't it?
morning, yeah.
I'm putting my money on Mufasa. Am I right?
Oh, Mufasa.
Yeah, let's have your guesses for a Disney name, a boy's name. I'm assuming
Or Pain
Pongo.
or Panic out of Hercules.
Pain or panic.
Pain.
see, I say boy's name, but it could be a more neutral name. So any guesses? I'm gonna go for Jiminy.
Jiminy.
Ooh, good. One of my flatmates was called Jiminy at uni, but she was called Gemma, but we called her Jiminy.
Well, if Mercedes calls her other half grumpy, maybe it's going to be bashful.
Oh, there's a Daisy middle name, Mercedes.
Disney middle name.
I like this game. I like this game a lot. Right, okay.
John Smith says Katia. John Smith.
Let's focus ourselves, shall we? Sorry if we ever miss you out on the chat thing. Hugh's desperately scrolling, and by the time we start the show, there's usually quite a lot of chat already happened.
I've got your stuff from the Facebook page as well, which we'll do a little later on as well.
Yep, we've got day 2 of our DLP trip report.
Ooh.
Our 15-hour day.
15 hours.
Yeah.
Insane. Right. So I'm going to start with the first piece of news. It was Vice President headhunted. So it's the Vice President of Entertainment at Disneyland Paris. His name was still is David Duffy. You don't die when you leave the the gates of Disneyland Paris. As much as your soul feels as if it does, it doesn't. And he's been headhunted to go and head up live entertainment at Walt Disney World. Now, I will tell you, these kind of promotions are a real testament to the quality that we have going on in Disneyland Paris, because I have long said, amongst other things, that what they do with the parades and the hub entertainment and the shows that they've got in Disneyland Paris and the way that they refresh them every so often just outstrips Disney World by a mile, in my opinion. So this is, he's done some amazing stuff. We've just been to see the world of Pixar together. I'm never going to get that title right, Chris. What is it?
Together?
Together, the world of Pixar.
I just call it Pixar Together.
Or just together?
Okay.
That one anyway.
That one, brilliant. Mickey and the Magician, I've talked about for years as being the best Disney show I've ever seen. But it's the seasonal thing, the 30th parade that's Dream and Shine Brighter and in the hub. It's just amazing. What they do with the Avengers, and we've got amazing live entertainment here. The sad thing is that there's currently no replacement announced. And the article made it seem as if he was going over pretty soon, so we might be temporarily head of entertainment-less. But it's a stepping stone for ambitious executives, is Disneyland Paris, executives who want to head up the American part. So let's hope we get some real vision and innovation coming over and keep up the high standard that we've been used to.
Mercedes says there's a Disney middle name.
He's doing that thing again.
Oh, have you just said it?
I did a minute ago.
He's
yeah.
doing it again.
I did. It's all right, because you have a tough job trying to keep up with that.
Can I just ask, is everyone all right? Because I'm really, really conscious that my bald head might be glaring at quite a few people today, and I could do with some talcum powder.
Hey,
I've got a bit of sun again, haven't I?
The listeners are absolutely fine, Chris.
The O of the 30 logo behind you is also glinting.
In the same way. Yeah, it looks like it's the same
it
light.
does.
It's all
Same
packed.
glare,
It's just
isn't
in that corner there's loads of light.
Absolutely perfect.
Should we get some talc?
I think I might have to. I'll have to start wearing makeup.
What is the best live entertainment you've seen at Disneyland Paris in, let's say, the last 10 years, maybe? Anybody?
I mean, I've not seen a lot of the live entertainment. That I would say the only live show thing I've seen is has been on the castle stage. It was the villains thing, which was really good.
But also, you saw the Halloween parade.
The Halloween parade is absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
say
really good.
the Goofy light show
Yes.
on the Tower of Terror.
Yes.
Just fun, good fun, and you could see.
The Avengers drone show is pretty spectacular.
More on
Oh, actually, I've seen the 30th drone show as well. Saw that.
See,
That counts.
this is the other thing, is that these drone shows are counted under this guy's remit, and they are a first for Disney parks. So the fact that he's managed to bring those, and they've been so well received, and they're so amazing. I think mine might be the Christmas parade, and I say the Christmas parade because I don't think it's changed in the last
with Goofy and his
8 years. Yeah, it's the gingerbread Minnie and Mickey's and Tinkerbell up on the top of the tree. I absolutely love it. But also we saw a show. Well, we loved Pirates and Princesses Parade. That was quite amazing. I am a princess. I am a pirate. Brilliant. And they did Forest of Enchantment up at back when it was what is now the Frontierland Theatre.
Dream
I
and Shine
really
Brighter
liked
is
that.
really, really good.
It is.
Really good.
It is. It's a lot better than I expected because the floats are all the same. You don't get an idea of how Connecticut is until you're there, do you?
No,
Just seeing pictures.
But when we were there as well, and I think a lot of people have had this, they didn't do a lot in the middle because of the heat. It was just too hot for it, so it was all stripped down. But even stripped down, it's a great song, and you see some great characters, and the guys doing the dancing are just so enthusiastic. There's just got a real vibe about it, like it's just a real feel-good vibe.
And it's really inclusive. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
It feels inclusive of the
Yes.
audience. And
Kerry's suggesting Milo for that middle name from Atlantis.
oh, I like
Good
that.
shout.
Adam, it's Adam, isn't it, Mercedes? It's Adam.
People are enjoying Dream and Shine Brighter, says Emma and Mercedes. But Katia liked The Lion King, but have not seen The Magician nor Pixar yet. Voiceover guy, completely agree. Mickey the Magician. Me, my daughter likes to guess how magic is done, even at the age of 7, but not even she can work out most of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that you can't... Oh, the problem is I've seen it 3 times now. We've stopped going to see it because you have to queue for so long. And towards the end, I did start to work things out, but this is why you should maybe just see stuff like that once. Do you know what we haven't called out?
What?
The Studio Disney Kids... What's that called?
Studio D.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. To say I run a Disneyland Paris podcast, my memory for the names of shows.
I think that might be the first time I've actually got something like that right.
Yeah, the Studio D, the Disney Junior show, the Dream Factory. That's really good. It's like Vampirina and Fancy Nancy and stuff, so you might think it's for younger kids, but as an adult, I really enjoyed it.
The Wakanda dancing's pretty awesome as well. When they have that on in the Avengers campus, it's brilliant. And the acrobatics of Spider-Man up in the up the top up there, if you see that. The dance-off is a bit cheesy in it, but that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think we're going to get to the dance-off because that might be in our...
That's today.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Ooh.
Right, let's go on. So, talking of live entertainment, they have announced a new AP event. Now, this is what I think we knew this was coming.
Alan Partridge event.
I think the
Aha! Yes, shut up.
Yes, you, yes. So, these new expensive... I always have to start with, these new, really expensive annual passes came with the promise of a lot more exclusive hard ticket events that were exclusively for the annual pass holders.
Yeah.
And the first one has been announced, and it's on the 29th of September, and it's called Villainous Night. So it's villain themed. It's €55 per ticket, and it's a pass holder with one guest. Each pass holder can bring one guest. They still have to pay €55 each. No more than that, but they have to be with you when they enter the park. It's not something where you can buy a ticket and hand it off
I'm just
to
meeting my
someone.
mate inside. Is that all right?
Yeah, you can't do that. They have to be with you. Now, I don't know why. I don't think I thought about it that hard, but I also thought that these AP events might be like the DVC events in Disney World where they were free. Is that really naive of me?
We talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
I thought the implication was when they first started talking about it, they were guaranteeing events, but they just didn't talk about money, did they?
No.
Until they presented one at an extortionate price.
So it's giving you the opportunity to spend hundreds more euros with them, which is very kind of them. However, I think €55 for an after-hours event, particularly because it's guaranteed to be low crowds, that's very reasonable. So I think you could call this a heavily discounted hard ticket event.
Can you bring another AP holder as your guest?
They could get one of their own, couldn't they? Get their own ticket.
Yeah, but so you can split the cost.
No, you still have to buy a ticket for both of them anyway.
If you bought a guest at
There's no saving.
€55
It doesn't save you
each.
money.
Oh, it's still each.
Yeah,
It's just you can bring someone who's not an AP holder.
Okay.
That's
Like,
the perk. The
so
perk is you can invite someone who hasn't got an annual
That's
pass.
rubbish, isn't it?
I know.
But being that you all have to have your own annual passes these days, are you going to have someone who's... You're not going to have that, are you? Really? Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah.
Lucy just oohed because the children just walked past the screen door in front of us.
Because it is the summer holidays, they're allowed to stay up later. So Chris has brought his Lucas from his wing
Against
to play
my better
with
judgment.
our Bonnie, and they're currently tearing up the house, which is fun.
Quietly though.
Then no.
This one though is a bit of a shock. It will not be possible to meet characters during this event.
Woohoo! Makes it all worthwhile.
No. I mean, thing is, after hours events are notorious for having hard to meet characters, but then the line's been 2 hours
ridiculous
long
lines,
at a 3-hour party. So I'm not saying this is the worst thing, because I've always thought to myself, unless I happen to walk past someone with a really short queue, it wouldn't be my priority at a hard ticket event. But that also means they must be prioritising something else. If they're going to have villainous nights, they must be doing live entertainment. They must be doing fireworks shows. Because if they're theming it, but they're not having characters...
They must be.
Unless they're selling very expensive snacks.
Do you remember when we suggested that we'd like to see characters on rides with you?
Yes.
Or like...
Oh, yeah.
Or working in some of the shops. You know, just messing around, breaking things.
Yeah.
I'd love that. You know, just them like existing, like where possible.
In the 90s.
Probably in quieter times.
When they used to have TV adverts for Walt Disney World and things in the 90s, that's always what they'd show you, wouldn't it? Just Goofy riding Dumbo. All the time it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alice on the teacups. And I think then maybe they've stopped doing it because it's like false advertising. But I think that's really cool when you see them do stuff like that. Anyway, I came off the how good the entertainment is because I anticipate this being an entertainment heavy event and I am there for that. I really am. Now I'm just going to spring off that a second and do a little mini piece of news before I get onto another one.
Minnie Mouse.
To go with the AP events.
Shut up.
Yes, boys, yes.
Shut up.
We're going to have our first exclusive pop-up surprise. That sounds so rude. Is it just me who thinks that? Never mind.
Pop-up surprise does sound a little after hours.
Yeah.
So does Goofy riding Dumbo.
Oh, heck. I'm moving on quickly. And these are exclusive hard-to-meet characters who are meeting just for AP holders. We suspect it's going to be in the old AP office, but that hasn't been announced either. From the 1st of September to the 24th of September, so they're giving you limited windows as well. These are low-season times when they are trying to get AP holders to come for one day and meet this character to tick it off the list. Very clever. It's open to all Disney Pass holders and Legacy AP holders. What they mean by Legacy AP holders is people who bought the old APs and they haven't run out yet or they've managed to renew them. It doesn't mean that if your AP does run out that you can still watch it. It doesn't mean that at all. But you have to make a reservation for these meets. Now, this surprised
Through
me.
Line Bertie.
It will be booked on the AP platform, which is a separate website, or kind of a link off the main website. Thank God it's not Line Bertie. Is Line Bertie still doing anything?
I don't think so.
I think they still do the limited edition keys and pins by Line Bertie, you know.
Oh yeah, yes, but they haven't done anything like that for a while, have they? Oh, we haven't reported on it for a while.
We haven't reported on it for a while because it's just got a bit. The keys were getting too numerous for me. They were boring me. And a park visit reservation is required before you book your slot to see the character. Okay,
Right.
so that's the order you have to do things. But it's and up to 3, 1 reservation for you and up to 3 AP holders, but not guests.
Okay.
So what they're saying is that 4 AP holders can have 1 slot, but you're not allowed to bring people who aren't AP holders.
Oh, no.
No. No riffraff in this meet and greet. Now, I mean, this is a perk, but the minute you start to, like, I don't know, gatekeep this strictly, do you know what I mean? This is just for those people. It starts to feel a little bit hierarchical.
Well, yes, it does, but at the same time, as we were discussing last week, these are all perks of having an annual pass, aren't they? So, you know, we want to see more for the annual pass holders, so we can't really
True.
can't knock it, can we?
True.
Really?
Voiceover guy says, I was the voice of Attraction Tickets Direct for many years, just a couple of years ago, and I'm sure Goofy was riding Dumbo during those adverts as well as on the TV.
Fine, I take it back. I'm glad to see it. I used to love those adverts.
Sarah remembers ice skating with Pluto in the 90s, pretty sure it was at DLP, but might have seen Walt Disney World as I went to both of them in 1999. So the holidays merged in my memory.
No, I'm going to guess that is DLP because Hotel New York used to have an ice rink. During the winter, it used to have an ice rink in that square at the front. And I think you would struggle to maintain an ice rink in the open air in Florida at any time of the year.
Unless you use one of those horrible wax ones.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that was DLP, but that's good to know. I like it.
And Rachel B saw a TikTok of Jasmine and Aladdin on the Magic Carpet ride. Don't know if that was recent.
Or
I've
just
seen
for
that.
promos.
Yeah, I think it was for promos. I've seen that.
I've never seen it in that. You see them walking around and doing like casual meets, but I've never seen them actually interacting. But I have seen it on the internet.
Yeah.
So how common it is, I don't know. Right, let's get shawarma. I really, if we reported on all renovations, limited pin releases, new snacks released, it would just be a 2-hour podcast every week. So I do try to keep these limited, but this one excited me in that the super diner in Marvel Land now has shawarma wraps. So you can be like the Avengers and go and silently pick at shawarma together.
And sit and cover your beard like Chris Evans because you start filming something else.
So, I mean, that's it. That's the tweet. Shawarma wraps now available at Super Diner. Go while you can. But it made me go,
I don't think I've ever had shawarma. I mean, I've had like...
it's doner meat,
I
isn't it?
yeah, I mean, I've had like doner kebab, but is it the same kind of thing? I don't know.
I think it is. Is it?
Well, I had chicken shawarma the other week from the co-op. And it was just bits of marinated chicken. So probably, yeah.
Oh, I love doner meat.
I do as well.
Oh, my goodness.
When it's not too greasy.
I don't care.
I mean, who knows what it is? Who knows what's going in your body?
Lamb and
Hot
onions and
sauce.
spices.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I also think it's ground up fat and bones and offal as well.
I don't think I've ever had doner and chips or doner and salad or whatever when I've not been drunk.
Oh, I have.
And it's the best drunk food.
It's just as good when you're not drunk. Oh, it's good.
They do it in Trinity Kitchen in Leeds, and I had it there once on a lunchtime. I felt dirty all over. You know, dirty but good.
Yeah.
This isn't. We need to put a.
You know.
Parental warning on this
We need to
episode.
put a 12A on this episode.
It's alright because on YouTube I have it listed as not for kids anyway. This is just purely because if it is for kids, you can't comment.
Just put filth as a stamp.
Oh,
of the
good.
thumbnail.
I will expand further on my feelings about doner meat in the after show then. Right, one more bit of news that wasn't worthy of a headline, but it's definitely worthy of news. If you are planning a Disneyland Paris trip, which you probably are because you're watching a planning podcast, is booking. And this was the first thing Chris told me when he arrived today as well. Booking starts for next year, April 2024 to March 2025. It starts on August the 29th.
Tuesday.
On the Disneyland Paris website and all good travel agents as well. Now, they have a variety of traditionally, they have a variety of special offers that sort of rotate and change during the year, and they are different. Some of them will be free dining, some of them will be 2 nights free, some of them will be 20% off or whatever. But if you are the kind of person who sits and works it out with a calculator, usually the first offer is the most financially beneficial, and then the kind of depleting value.
First cut is the deepest.
The first cut is the deepest. It is quite hard to compare like for like though, because it comes a bit like dining plan versus an extra night, and you have to weigh up how much you'll end up spending on transport, and you know what I mean. But you generally get the best deals earlier on. So if that's interesting you,
well, I should be looking on Tuesday.
book on Tuesday. Good.
John says, and this is a good shout, about the shawarma. I reckon it's similar to that wrap they used to have at Hakuna Matata, the Lion's Feast, ?
Oh!
That's the one that you're really upset that disappeared?
Yeah!
We didn't go to Hakuna Matata this time.
No! But that's why! Because the Lion's Feast had gone.
Yeah! No! Shawarma!
But is it the same without the, without the beady things hanging above you and the graffiti? I don't know. We'll see. We will try it out next time we're there. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Now,
right.
Is that the news?
That's me.
That's
I'm
what
done.
she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
So I know you have got a lot to talk about, but I'd just like to quickly go through the Disneyland Paris Show 37 Disney Street Facebook post from this week, because there's quite a few little comments and a lot of you in the chat as well. So first off, Sarah, who's in the chat, Sarah Seymour Griffiths, says, you may not know, but back in DLP next week with an electric car. Last time we went in June, the new chargers weren't working properly and the old ones were being removed. Does anyone know if the new chargers in the main car park are working now? Go, you people in the chat. If you know the answer to this, put it in there now and I'll carry on. Also, she says, I'm grumpy.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
Because I hate our privilege tickets can only be used 5 in 1 week, 20 over the whole year for Infinity passes. We're going Friday to Monday. I have Infinity, need privilege tickets for my daughter and sister. So that means on Friday I can only get 1 ticket. Saturday and Sunday I can get 2 tickets each day to total 5 in the week. So my sister can't come in the park on Friday with us using a privilege ticket, but then can get them both tickets on Monday again because it's a different week. The workaround is going to buy a 1-day park ticket for my daughter, about £65 for a child, I think, on Attraction Mix, and then my sister can use a privilege ticket, €62, so it's not a huge difference in price. Also, still grumpy about them taking privilege tickets away with the new annual passes, although I understand the reasons why this might be. I am still annoyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't like change. That is annoying. I mean, the thing is, as I do moan about the annual passes, and then Chris talks reasonably to me, and then I
try.
and then I feel bad. But reasons like what you're saying is why they did need changing, because these really strange kind of red tape provisos that they put over things were becoming really faffy to deal with, and then they've just taken them away entirely.
Yes.
But I hope you get that fixed. That's annoying.
Stacey says, getting excited for my first ever Disney Park trip at the tender age of 31. Only 75 days to go.
It will change your little life, Stacey.
But she also says she's feeling grumpy.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
Because my Disney bounding outfit isn't making itself. I need some magical mice.
Oh, making it's half the fun. Making it's half the fun.
There you go. Rachel Barker says, I know this is the DLP show, but I've booked to go to Disney World, Florida next year. Only 360 days to go. First time going, having to go in August due to my travel buddy being a teacher. Anyone else who isn't that used to those kind of weather conditions got any tips for this very pale northern girl?
Right, I'm going to hand this over to Hugh now, because you are not
Stay in the shade.
not a lover of the heat, are you? What do you do for the heat?
For the heat?
In Florida.
Oh, in Florida. Now, it's different in
August.
Florida. It's worse for me in Paris in summer because... you expect it might be warm, but you're not ready for it to be boiling hot. But when I go to Florida, I'm just a flick a switch in my brain, and I'm just prepared for it. And I don't often really grumble in Florida because I just know it's going to be boiling hot. So you just have to know what you're getting in for. And there's plenty of opportunity to duck into aircon and stuff. There's not much else you can do really, other than just know that. Prepare for the worst in your mind, and it's probably not going to be as bad as that.
I would say that.
When are they going?
August.
This time next year.
See, we haven't been in
To
August.
take it all back now.
We haven't been
No,
in
we've been in May,
But apparently
which
it's bad.
is the start of the hot
May
season.
into June.
We did go May into June. I would say it's more sweat than it is bake. The thing is in Disneyland Paris is when it's cloudless sky, it just grills you from above. Whereas in Florida, because it's so humid, you do get a bit of cloud cover, but my God, do you sweat? It's really clingy in that way.
You kind of embrace it as part of the whole experience. You do. I think you should be all right.
Icy drinks.
It's a way of thinking. It's a state of mind. How you can't cool your body, but you can, fortify your brain.
Well, voiceover guy says, top tip to avoid the heat in August in Florida, tell your friend to quit a job and rebook the holiday for May. That's when we're going. Very exciting.
Oh, voiceover guy's going in May as well. When are you going, voiceover guy? Tell. Thank you.
Next one up, we're in the...
Did that person before actually want us to give advice about Disney bounding?
No, she was just saying that she's grumpy because her
She wants
outfit's
the
not making itself.
mice to make it.
I thought she said she needed some advice or something.
No, I don't think so.
Needed some mice.
I think she wanted some
She said she needed some mice.
emotional support.
I think
and
I
I'm
needed
there.
advice.
I'm there for all
very
emotional
clear.
support as far as Disney bounding's concerned.
Yeah.
We're also in the presence of YouTube royalty. Cruise with Ben and David have been in touch as well and said, this week there is a big announcement on the 30th about the Disney Treasure cruise ship. Keep your eyes peeled. No Disney World or DLP trips planned yet, but we will be on a cruise to the Lighthouse Point Resort next year. Keep up the great podcast. We listen every week. Looking forward to hearing more about your trip, which you'll be doing in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, chaps.
Very briefly, because we want to get onto the trip report, I was actually pricing up flights to Hilton Head, which is a Disney resort in South Carolina today, and the reason is that we have a friend who is marrying someone who lives in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia, and I was telling Hugh, and he was like, well, let's go visit, and I'm like, well, Disney World's a long way from Virginia, but how close is Hilton Head?
Do you know what I've been...
It's 5 hours, but in America, that's close, isn't it?
Do you know what I've been getting, which annoys me a bit, is this weird kind of passive-aggressive thing at work in particular, where, because they know we always go there, and I say, look, guys, get off my case, we've got DVC, we go there a lot, that's what we're going to do, is they always go, so, do you think you'll ever go anywhere different then, ever? And I get that all the time from different people, and I just go, yeah. We're not like completely obsessed with just going there. We go other places.
Yeah.
It's just a weird, strangely like passive aggressive way of asking it. Do you think you'll ever go anywhere different?
Two more then. Sarah Clipston says, here's a tip. I'm sure you all know this, but just in case you don't, if you dress your child as their favourite character, such as Woody, the character will interact with them even during the parade. It's such a special moment when their hero makes a fuss of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You see it on videos time and time again. It's definitely worth doing
Yeah.
if they're prepared to do it.
Yeah.
Top 10 magical moment for me was when Bonnie dressed as Tinkerbell and Tinkerbell spotted her in the Christmas parade. I still well up thinking about it.
Yes?
Sorry. As Stacey says, read Disney bounding, emotional support definitely. It's been sat in the corner of the spare room and I've been ignoring it. Tomorrow, hopefully. Stacey, what is it? Who are you bounding as?
Who are you bounding
The
as?
world wants to know. Right, shall we...
Finally, I have an and finally. And finally, Emma Sylvester's been in touch. She says she has news to share. I did something crazy tonight and booked a one-night stay at DLP next week to see the 30th celebrations one last time. 4 days to go, it says on here. That was yesterday, so 3 days to go now. She says, we never do anything like this, but I got my first pay for my new job and it's Katya's birthday next week, so we just thought, why not?
Emma also says in the chat that she hates that question. Do you think you'll ever go anywhere different?
Yeah. You're going to Disney again.
For one night in heaven.
I have clients who pay me and go, oh, well, I suppose I need to give you all my money so you can go to Disney. And I'm like, this is my job. What I do with my money when I earn it from my job.
With you at all.
That really winds me up. Really winds me up.
I'll sometimes get. Are you able to do any overtime? You sure? You know, I might be able to buy you like a couple of Dole Whips at Disney. Like I'm going, oh, brilliant.
Oh, well, as soon as you put it like that. Right, now you need to condense 15 hours into 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Just before you do, I want to say Stacey's going as Gus Gus. That has
Nice.
filled my heart with joy.
Gus.
Oh, that's something the three of us could do if we do run Disney.
No, we're doing three
no,
caballeros.
well, I know, but there's 3 races. You want to have different outfits for each race.
Okay, yes.
We could do the 3, Gus Gus, Shaq and Susie.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we can do Marie and the other 2.
Berlioz and Toulouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little bow tie. So, our second day at DLP
Oh, yeah.
in August 2023 was a 15-hour day, which does that sound a lot? Because it felt a lot.
It sounds a lot to me.
Well, it's 8:30 in the morning to whatever 15 hours
11
later.
o'clock.
is.
Half 10.
Yeah, half 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were exhausted by the end of it. But anyway, we spent most of it.
Not that bad. Carry on.
We spent most of it in Hollywood Studios. So we decided to go there with our friends to check out Avengers Campus because we went with them a couple of years ago, but it wasn't there yet, Avengers Campus. So it was good to check it out with them. So yeah, we got in there. First thing, where did we meet them? In the hotel or outside the park? Doesn't matter, but we were there for early magic hours anyway, weren't we? Straight to studio. The first thing I did was go on Web Slingers.
Was there a queue?
In early magic hours, it said 35 minutes. I think it was 25, would you say?
Yeah, wasn't too bad. I took a picture of that bit on
You
the
did.
wall.
Yeah.
It's such a...
that me and Chris are
Such an
obsessed
illusion.
with. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, the bit, there's some lines painted on the wall, and as you go around a corner, the line dips down and outside, and it looks like you're about to go downstairs.
But
And then you don't, it's an illusion.
do you know what? I will just say, when we went on Web Slingers with you and Laura, when you do long queues with 2 families and you can chat, it goes a lot
Oh,
quicker
yeah. Yeah.
than when you just do. Not that we don't talk to each other, but then Bonnie gets antsy and
There's a lot
you know.
of walking down corridors in that one as well, isn't there? I mean, the outdoor bit's awful, first off. But once you get into that first room, it's all right. There's some things to see and things. But then all of a sudden, you're just into corridors without staircases.
Yeah, and you don't know how far there is left to go, which is frustrating with corridors. Even if you've done it a few times, you go, I'm sure there's just one more turn. No, still in another corridor. I worked out
Just down these stairs.
I worked out what my favourite bit on that ride is, and that's when Peter Parker does his heroic pose. He says Spider-Man, and then he kind of looks off and raises his eyebrow like that.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I now have experience of doing that as single rider, but it was the day after this. Shall I save it for next week, or shall I talk about it now?
Save it.
Save it.
Save it.
I did single rider.
So after that, we did Pixar together.
Ooh.
Now, let's do a little mini review of that. It was very, the seats were very comfortable. It was good. It was technically quite different, wasn't it? There was lots of like screens and lots of interactions with the screens, and then
Okay.
a physical thing turning into something that's on the screen, and all this stuff.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. It's a very cheap way of doing theatre these days is to do projection mapping on backdrops. And we've seen quite a few Amdrams do it instead of hiring backdrops, and it's cheap for them, but it's really getting on my goat because it tends to look quite naff. Now this is an example of why it can be brilliant, because someone pushes something and on the screen that thing moves, so you stop seeing it in 2 dimensions and you start seeing it as part of a 3D world.
Yeah.
And they did every clever trick with these screens that you could do. However, I still prefer to know. It's like watching old Star Wars made out of models versus CGI Star Wars. I prefer to know things. I prefer making The Magician because it's so real. However, this is brilliantly done. Continue.
Well, there were a couple of weird things. Like at one point, without spoiling it too much, there was some kind of floating thing in the narrative, and once they'd done with it, someone just reached off the side with a hook and yanked it off.
Oh.
I think that might have been because we were sat extreme.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We weren't like, in a box around the edge. We were to the right of the centre, and someone just went on and just yanked it off with a crook.
Was it Go Away Green?
What's Go Away Green?
Isn't that what they call it?
Oh, well, that's what they do like.
Yeah, was the crook
No.
green to take attention away from it?
But the
It was
thing is,
big arm.
it was a nice show. The narrative was a little odd. Of just they were trying to collect this music, these music sheets. But what bugged me, and I go on about this in my video, is this thing that all Disney characters have to do, and they're all trained to do it. So it's not going to stop. It's just going to be something that's going to annoy me forever. Is those exaggerated movements that they do, particularly Woody in this version that we watched in this showing that we saw. His movements were so ridiculously over the top and non-stop that it's all I saw. And it's because, they have to be able to be read from the back. But we were sat pretty far back and we could see them perfectly. There's no need for the characters to move their heads.
Is it the hand gestures and the wobbly?
Yeah. Come on, everybody! And like they always kick one leg up and go, and they're throwing their arms around. And
They did on the ice skating as well,
It became so distracting and annoying. Again, it was mostly Woody, but it was all of them. As soon as the screen lifted and I saw one of the green soldiers do it, I thought, oh no.
I get where you're coming from, but I guess that's it's a style, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's like do you remember watching the Power Rangers when you were little and you didn't realise that they were using Japanese footage, and all of a sudden the Power Rangers were moving differently and they're going, look up there, and they were moving their heads and pointing really aggressively. It's that all the time.
I do understand, but like you say, if you understand what it is, it's like watching an opera and going, they just keep singing all the time.
Yeah,
you
but
watch a Disney show, that's what they're going to do.
They don't move like the characters.
No.
And they don't need to move that much because we can see them perfectly fine.
They're also
Some subtlety would be nice.
they're trying to transcend language as well for people who can't speak.
Do they do that in Rhythms of the Pride Lands?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
more like a music show, is that?
Yeah.
Less than a character show.
But do you know what? People are going to like the show. I normally will fixate on one thing that's annoying me, and that becomes my review.
No.
But I will see. Oh yes. Yeah.
This is Hugh. Have you met?
But people will enjoy it. It's an all right show, isn't it?
Yeah, I would give it 4 stars.
I'd give it 3.
Okay.
It's perfectly fine. And then we went for lunch at Pin Kitchen, and we didn't have a reservation. And I thought, we're never getting in here.
We decided to go at 11:30 because we were with younger children who do get hungry earlier anyway. But we also knew we wanted to. We knew we didn't have a reservation, so it's like it opens at 11:30. We will be there at 11:33.
And there's a queue for people without reservations. Sans réservation. So we just got in that queue and we were in 10 minutes, weren't we?
Brilliant.
It was fine and it was good, and we got some napkins.
I don't know what your look would have been 2 hours later.
Yeah.
If we're saying, oh, it's no problem, you can go without a reservation. We deliberately went at 11:30 because we didn't have a reservation.
How was Peter, by the way? Peter's Spider-Man crazy. How was he with web slingers? I didn't ask that question when we were doing it. Did he enjoy it? Because when I asked him yesterday, he just said no.
Yeah.
Everything I asked him about, he just said no.
Well,
like it.
Well, we'll come on to that in a minute, actually, because he met Thor and something similar happened. But he came in with us because he wanted to be with Bonnie, so he was sat next to me, and he seemed to enjoy it. He didn't really say much about it, did he? But
he's also
he seemed to get into the idea of shooting the spider bots.
he's an incredibly mild-mannered, lovely kid. I don't want to give the wrong idea of him, but if you go to his house, everything he owns is Avengers. Everything he owns, lunchbox, trainers, cap, everything. And at one point, he stood there and said to his mummy and daddy, "I don't like Avengers." But I think that's what 5-year-olds do, isn't it? That is what 5-year-olds do. So yeah, we'll get on to the Thor story in a second.
Someone on, I think it was Instagram, asked about Pimp Kitchen because they were going, and I said my tip would be not to get excited by the giant hot dog and go, yeah, I'll have a slice of that, because it's mostly bread. And you fill up on it, and it's a waste of...
That's what you said, wasn't it?
It's a waste of stomach...
Everything was bread.
It's a waste of stomach real estate.
Yeah.
Don't go for bready things in there. I still love that blue custard.
We went for the jambalaya again. I had a lot of that last time. And we had our first corn dogs. Never had
yeah.
corn dogs.
Ooh.
They were nice.
I saw them on the plates, actually,
It's-
on the pictures that you'd shared.
It's something I've meant to have in Disney World for years because it's just we don't have if there's any Americans listening, we don't have corn dogs in the UK.
I didn't really know
they don't
what
exist.
I've never known what they were.
No, I didn't really.
And they're very nice.
They don't. They didn't have them at Pim Kitchen when we went last year, did they?
Don't think
No,
so.
they didn't.
No.
So we've got tiny corn dogs, but the thing is, I went back for some and they'd run out. So I suspect when we were there, they'd just
They
run
might
out
just run out,
because
yeah,
they were very popular and the plate was very small.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things to have without having the giant bread things, but the thing is, the big sort of centerpiece where they show you things that they've shrunk and grown are these big sandwich platters in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to just kind of go for that.
Sarah agrees with me about. She says, "I can see exactly what Hugh is talking about. I can visualise what I'm talking about with the characters in the movie."
Yeah.
So that's Pim Kitchen. Then we did hero training. So we had to book a slot for this earlier on in the day, but by the time we'd done it, we got like a 2:00 meeting, and we didn't know who it was going to be. We were hoping for we were hoping for anyone in particular.
Well, Bonnie wanted Mantis, but I don't think
Because
she
she
meets.
was dressed as Mantis.
She was dressed as Mantis that day.
We got Thor, who I thought looked like David Beckham, but actually, apparently not. No, because no one agrees with me on it.
He was really good.
He was
at
good.
being Thor. It was a really good meet and greet.
It was great, yeah. The thing is, Peter was there. I think he was a bit overwhelmed, and he was dressed in Spider-Man stuff. And Thor was saying, do you like the Avengers?" And he said, "No." He said, "Do you like Spider-Man?" He's like, "No." He said, "Who's your favourite Avenger?" Nobody. Eventually, we got him to say somebody, didn't we?
I must stress what a really sweet, cute kid Peter is, because this is going to make him
He is
sound like
lovely.
he's
Yeah,
one of those.
he
Wasn't going no.
No.
He wasn't doing that. He was just like no.
He was being shy.
No.
Yeah. He was being shy.
Oh, bless
He's
you.
going, "Who's your favourite?" "I bet it's Spider-Man." And he went, "No." "Do you like Spider?" "No." And he was just, oh my goodness. Yeah. But it was a really good meet, and we had one of those 3D things done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
we discussed last week that we didn't have the photo pass, but we got them on temporary cards, thinking we might load them up later. We decided not to in the end, and that was the only one that I regretted not getting, because there's no other way of getting it. And I will say that it's almost worth getting the photo pass for that, for that one thing, and then everything else is a bonus because it is fun.
We went to Spider-Man a couple of days later, and we managed to match up 2 tickets for a different time, so we'll tell you about that in a couple of weeks if you're interested. But after that, we did Flight Force. Me and Kat did Flight Force, and the rest did Route 66.
Yes, we did.
Now, Flight Force, my question for you was, has it changed much? Because apparently it changed.
Well, we heard rumours of that, but it looked exactly the same to me. You still end up in that horrible corridor at the end, just sat there. Thing is, I was trying to make Kat laugh because we got into the corridor and it stopped, and she didn't look at me, and I was pretending to be dead. I was just slumped forward in my chair with my eyes open, and she wasn't looking. So do you know sometimes when you're doing something to make your friend laugh and they're not looking, so you hold it for ages, and then you slyly look at them to see if they're looking. And then you realise they're not going to look, so you just slowly just go back to your default position of not being silly. So I did that. I was trying to be silly, but anyway. But she seemed to like it, but nothing seems different in there. It's still like I can't really hear like the narrative as we're going around. "Oh, we need to do this. We need to stop this."
Yeah.
I wasn't concentrating on that. Just play some music, man, like they used to. That's all we want.
Let me tell you this as well. Height of the summer holidays, it'll have been 5 or 10 minutes wait the whole time we were there.
Oh yeah,
The whole time.
yeah, we were straight in.
I can't even tell you if it got up to 15 minutes, if I'm honest. It
Really?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was constantly that
Could
time.
have gone out a few times. Then we all did the Zoetrope
Oh, nice.
in.
I don't think we did the Zoetrope.
We
We only
looked.
stood in front of it
We
for a little while.
cooed at the
We
Zoetrope.
looked at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you don't know what that is, it's in the Mickey Hat building.
We bring it up every opportunity we can as well.
Emma's just given me information that I didn't know, and I feel bad for being inaccurate. She's just said the 3D moving photo isn't included with PhotoPass.
Ah.
You get the normal photos that they take, but you have to pay extra for that one.
Of course you do.
Right, that has wound me up.
Deal breaker.
I mean, I would question whether photo pass is worth it in Disneyland Paris to start with, but things like that would make it worth it. To have to pay extra for that, that's made me cross.
Right. We've got to rattle through the rest, you know.
Okay, we can stop halfway through and pick it up next week.
No, I think we can't drag it out for 5 weeks. We can get through it though. We did Stitch Live next. Now the thing about this is, in the queue, I was telling our friend Brookie what happened to me once when I was picked on by Stitch, and all the stuff I told him, all of it happened in the show. So
It happened in the show that I went to as well.
Yeah, so I kind of wish I'd because sometimes it's a little different, but mostly it's the same. So if you've been to it, maybe don't tell your friends, because even though it's still funny and enjoyable. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same every time.
Yeah.
That happened. Then we did Stark Factory, where I did something
Excellent.
bad.
Oh, I got very Lucy and cross about this, didn't I?
It's not like me.
Lucian Cross.
Lucian.
Lucy and
Oh.
cross.
I got 3 drinks, 2 small, 1 big for me, and there's like a little countdown on the drinks machine, which I didn't realise. So you don't fill them to the top.
Okay.
So I filled the 2 small ones to the top, and then when I went to fill mine up, I was about a fifth missing off the top, and I got very cross, and I took my cup. But the cup,
Stole the
I
cup.
know, I was debating because I thought the cup was disposable.
Okay.
But I
We
don't-
are never getting inside ears
But
now.
I don't think it was, and I took it because I felt like I was owed it, and I'm not encouraging that. I'm not proud of that, but I was so cross.
But the
You wait until next week when I tell you about the meltdown I had in. What was that last week? No, yeah, in Cowboy Cookout.
the kids were the kids were brilliant. This one had like 2 meltdowns during the week.
Yeah. I just, do you know when you're filling up your thing and it stops and then it says you've reached your maximum, and I'm like, but
What
this
I
much
think
of the top.
No, what I think you did.
€4.
This is what I think you did, because you had a small cups amount worth in your big cup, and didn't you have to like scan a barcode or something to fill them up?
Scanned it each time.
So I think that you used your large cup on a small cup, and then when you put your big cup under, it gave you a small cups amount.
No,
No?
no, it doesn't know that because it's 1 barcode,
Okay.
so it just knows what you paid for in total.
Yeah, you paid for 1 large and 2 small, and I just think you used the wrong cup.
No, I didn't. I didn't get a small amount in the big one. I
You did.
I just didn't get up to the top.
I think you should both beg to differ and get on with it.
Yeah.
No, because I did it, and I know because there's markings on the cup, but I didn't know there were markings
But
on
the
the
fun
cup.
thing was that when we were sat in Start Factory, we saw that Spider-Man was on the roof outside, and that thrilled Peter more than any. This is what we'd all been waiting for all day, was to Peter to get genuinely excited about Spider-Man, because the whole time he was just going like that. So yeah, we ran outside to see Spider-Man on the roof.
What did you make of Start Factory? You
I
just
liked
said we
it.
went to Start Factory, then
It was empty, but it was big and
We went for it.
spacious.
We only went in to use the microwave because it was the baby's
okay.
lunchtime. So the rest of us just got drinks, and I think I got a tiny little moosey thing.
But did
So
you have
we-
a mooch?
We had a mooch around, loved it. It was really quiet. We loved the big Hulk basher. The bit that was Peggy, always want to say Peggy Sawyer.
Hulkbuster.
I want to say Peggy Sawyer. Who do I mean?
Carter.
Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter's office was shut, unfortunately.
Oh.
But it was. We'll definitely go there again for a quick service. I loved how
Air
high.
conditioned as well,
would,
isn't it? It's
because-
nice and cool in there.
I won't be going back in there because my picture will be behind the counter.
Have you seen this cup?
Then we did a dance party because Bonnie was dressed as Mantis. Problem is, we finally got Mantis's attention because they came out, was stood quite near to her and pointed at Bonnie as if to go, look, she's dressed like you. But at the point when Mantis looked over, Bonnie looked away.
Oh.
So Mantis didn't spend much longer interacting because she also had a line to do soon. So
Yeah.
it was all right. And then Bonnie actually joined the dance party at one point.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But we spent like ages trying to meet Mantis because Bonnie was dressed as her, and it didn't quite go as planned. The interaction, the eye contact didn't
It
happen.
was lovely though.
But it was fine. Tower of Terror was 5 minutes, so I went on. That thing is about Tower of Terror is it takes 5 minutes to get to the escalator to go through to watch the video and stuff. But then the queuing inside and all that, it's like 15 minutes long. So 5 minutes, and then there's a ride's 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes often just means to get to a certain point, to get to a pre-show. I was probably in there 20 minutes, wasn't I?
I think this is something to know about wait times in general. It usually means to the first turnstile or to the pre-show
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, and it can be miles after that.
Rendezvous de Gourmand. We did that. So we got some. There were pancakes. What
Galettes.
Galettes.
Ham and cheese galettes for dinner. So we weren't too adventurous, but that was mainly because we were feeding Bonnie.
Yeah, when you put your picture up with your little "Where am I?"
I put a picture up and people could not quite work out where it was. Chris got it, and I think did Shell get it on? Who was it? Someone on Instagram got it anyway.
Well, I got it in theory, and then someone on Instagram pinpointed it, confirmed it, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't find it at the moment. Yeah, never mind. Oh, there it is. Got it. I'll put it on.
It's a picture
I'll put it
through
on
a
screen.
portal.
People had to guess where this was, but actually, it's a view. So we were actually in Remy's
Plaza de Remy.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just an aside there. So we chilled out there for a bit, and then I forgot what it's called. So I've written in my notes cars spinny thing.
Quattro Rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
It's fun.
It's a 5-minute wait.
You did
It's
it.
pretty scary.
Killed some time.
It's pretty hairy. Yeah, it does spin a lot.
Yeah.
Then web slingers again. We did. Did we queue for longer? I was worried because as we went in the queue, and I think this happened when we went with you, someone needed a wee.
It was Cat and Brookie went
But
off.
so I was nervous the whole time that someone needed a wee, but we managed to get through both times.
Did Brookie go and Cat stay, or did they both go? But we took Peter on. We took Peter on that, and it was Peter who was needing a wee, and I'm like, well, that's going to be your problem, Hugh. I don't do boys. And then you got really stressed.
Kat was with us.
Oh, was she with us?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Must have been later on when we just had him on our own.
Then we finally went back over to the park.
Oh, that's what time was that then?
Like 8 p.m.
It was late.
So you
we
spent the
spent
whole day in.
12
Yeah.
hours in...
And
I
we
know.
always say it's a half day
That's
park.
never happened. Ever.
Do you know
in
what?
the history of Disneyland Paris.
There'll be a timestamp on that picture of
That's 5:30.
5:30. So yeah.
But then we finished our dinner and...
Must have been about 6.
That's a day in that park though,
Yeah.
and it doesn't sound like it. You didn't do everything either. You've done a lot, but you didn't do everything. That's good. No, that's great though. That's encouraging.
It was quite a slow day though. There was quite a few. We had to deal with quite a lot of children issues.
Yeah. Well,
But then we did Buzz and Small World,
Yeah.
and then we stayed for the fireworks.
Well, you didn't do Small World. We ran up to Small World. I can't remember what you were doing. And then we went on Small
Dad's
World.
video.
Oh, because Brookie had just said he'd arrived and you were going to wait outside the ride for Brookie, weren't you?
But he couldn't. He wasn't allowed up there.
Because they were closing Fantasyland for the fireworks.
Which is
okay.
strange because the next night we walked all around there and back and forth, and there was no after that time, and there was no one stopping us.
And those things. So,
Fireworks.
yeah, and then we went back. We found the other parent, and we decided we stayed up that long because Peter wanted to see the fireworks, and Brookie did too. So we stood in front of Plaza Gardens, which we knew wasn't a 10 out of 10 view, but we also knew we would be able to stand there without high stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
To a point.
Up to a point. I think it was all right. I don't think it
Well,
ever really got...
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you about something. But we could see between two trees, and we couldn't quite see the top of the castle, but we could see enough
Yeah.
to get the idea. Peter was falling asleep on Brookie's shoulders.
I do think it's a mistake when they're that age, to be honest. The fireworks are magical, but the feeling of grumpiness they
We had
get
every
is...
intention, both of our first two visits, of going and doing the fireworks, and we never made it.
No.
We got out till 10 o'clock, and Ollie was fast asleep in the pushchair, so we gave up on it. Last time, Lucas and I finally got to go, but he was shattered as well. We still managed to do it, but yeah, it's not easy, is it? We're not when it's such a long day.
But yeah, it was a pretty quiet spot because it wasn't the best spot. At one point, a lady's head appeared right next to mine. Like she was trying to see what we were seeing. Like, is this a good spot? And she was there for long enough for me to... I sort of looked at her a couple of times because she was very, very close to me. In a crowd, that wouldn't matter so much. But because it was empty around us and she just appeared next to me, you know...
She was rubbing up against your beard.
So then at one point, our sideburns entwined. At one point, I literally said to her, "You planning on staying there all night?" Well, this is the thing. And then Lucy said, "Hugh, be the magic. And I said I was the magic. I made her disappear. That was day 2.
That sounds like...
That's how day 2
what a
ended.
fantastic ending. It sounds like something from one of our virtual park days. Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just have some sense of space, guys, please.
I'm so glad that happened for you, Hugh. It just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. I wasn't like annoyed by it. I just was like, I said, "You planning on staying there all night?" Or, and I don't know if she understood me or not. I don't care if she did or didn't, as long as she went away.
Yeah.
John says, "Ha ha ha," as does Alex.
If you're keeping track, that was early magic hours all the way to being chucked out of the park.
Fun.
In the middle of summer when it's open till 11.
Luckily, we were near the arcade, so we could, like, as soon as the show was over, we could go down the arcade.
Actually, it must have been 11:30 when we finished because the fireworks were at 11. So
you
yeah,
are.
crazy.
Very good. Is that the Mjolnir of failure?
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
We were exhausted anyway. Well, I was. Apparently, Lucy wasn't, but.
I
could've gone again.
actually don't remember. I've had Disney days where I've felt like I just want to sleep on the pavement. I didn't feel that bad that day, but I think it was a slow day.
It was a late start the next day, though.
It was.
As we'll find out next week.
Slick. Well then, what happens now, Lucy?
Okay, these have been the boys. I've been Lucy. Bye-bye.
Well, that was abrupt.
Yeah, there's lots of great chat, by the way, as we've been talking
Yeah,
about this.
sorry.
So catch up with that if you're watching again.
And we're doing Patreon now. If you're a Patreon person, come.